Hey, what's up guys? I'm going to be comparing my Baer Premier 2 against my Ed Brown 1911s. I'm just going to be talking about the overall quality, the fit and the finish, and I have to say the Baer has a nicer fit. When I show you the Special Forces, I'm going to have to send that back because it's not acceptable. And the Executive Carry, it's nice, it's good, and it's acceptable, but it's not as tight as this one. And I'm not sure of the parts, so excuse my ignorance, and I know some of you guys will probably hate me because I own these guns. I don't know the name of the parts, but I don't care. But whatever that is in here, this little thing right here, it is, on the Baer Premier 2, you can't even feel it at all. It just feels like it's part of the frame, basically. And it's completely flush. It doesn't stick up at all. But on the Special Forces Ed Brown, right away you'll notice it's not flush. It sticks up. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like that, but I don't think it is. So I'm going to have to send it back to Ed Brown and make sure they fix it, because to me that's not acceptable. And there's also other problems with this gun besides just that. The ejection port, it's not completely rounded. It's kind of uneven here at this one corner. Up in here, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell. I don't think you'll be able to tell with this camera. Maybe you will. Hang on, I just got to find a better angle. Alright, but right up in here, it's really not even. It looks like the guy who was doing it kind of slipped. And back in here, it's kind of like they slipped a little bit. You really can't tell with this camera, but believe me, it's there. And if I send it back to Ed Brown, which I will be, they'll be able to tell what I'm talking about. But that shouldn't be like that, because if I look at my Baer, it's perfect. And this corner up here, you really can't tell. The finish on this gun is kind of getting in the way of being able to tell, but up in here it's not perfect. It's like they slipped. And those were the only problems with the Special Forces. Now with the Executive Carry, I showed you guys before, it has bubbles in the beaver tail. That's not acceptable. Now I started to notice there's this weird line across the hammer which isn't acceptable. I don't know if you could see it, but it could just be in the finish, but they should replace that. Because I'm really picky, but hell, this is a $2,700 gun. It should be perfect. The fit is a lot better than the Special Forces. It's pretty much flush. I would say it's perfect, but the Baer still feels tighter. Now, here's some other problems. See this line right here? I don't know if that's a finish problem, if that's like a defect in the finish, or if this little line going across here is supposed to be here, or what. But let me know what you guys think, if that's supposed to be there, if that's a finish problem, because I'm going to send this gun back, make sure it's perfect. And then, again, up here, it's just like, you could see all these like little, they look like scratches. I don't know if it's a finish thing or what, but that should be buffed out better or something. I don't know. I don't know if these problems they definitely don't affect performance, but I mean, when you're paying this much money for these guns, they should be perfect. Especially, now, on this gun, it's mainly just cosmetic problems. But on this gun, the fact that that one part is not flush and it's sticking up, that's not acceptable. So Ed Brown, I'm sure they'll take care of me, but it's two of their guns brand new that have some annoying flaws to them. And the Baer is a cheaper gun and it's perfect. Haven't had a single problem with it, and the quality of it overall, it's perfect. There's no bubbles in the finish. Now there are some scratches up here, but that's because of me. It didn't come like that. And The only thing that annoys me with Les Baer is that these serrations are the only thing they offer, and they're very tight, and they're very hard to keep clean. A lot of dead skin will build up in here, or leather if you carry it in a leather holster, and it's really hard to keep clean. And then when you have oil in there, when you're trying to clean it, it's impossible to like dry it all out, go back in there. I normally use like toothpicks or something like that to go in there, but it takes a long time. It's kind of a pain in the ass. I wish they did just a more basic serration like that, but oh well. I really like Les Baers. I think they're some of the most accurate 1911s. They offer the 1.5 inch grouping at 50 yards guarantee, which means they'll tune this gun to make it shoot that well. And when it comes to Les Baers, there's no bullshit. They don't have as many as the fancy looks to them, like the snake or reptile texture front strap or anything like that. It's just basic checkering and serrations, but they're tanks. And as you can see, the fit on this gun is great. Compared once again to the Ed Brown Special Forces. And here's the executive carry Ed Brown, a lot better than the Special Forces. But I don't know, I think that Ed Brown needs to make these guns right. And I'll probably tell him that I made this video and that I'll be documenting, my conversation with them. I'll be recording the conversation to make sure that they're treating me fair. And I don't know, I thought it would be a good idea to make this video in case anybody out there is considering of investing this type of money in a firearm. You should know that they're not all perfect. These Ed Browns, these are my first ever Ed Browns, and both of them have problems. My Les Baer hasn't had a single problem, and I've owned a Premier 2 before in the past. I traded it off, but the Premier 2 I owned in the past, it was perfect too. This one is just as perfect as the old one. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I'll definitely keep you updated with this whole thing. I'll call up Ed Brown Monday, tell them they need to fix these guns up. And even if they have to replace the slide, because to me, this little problem I'm having up here, you can kind of see what I'm talking about right now with the way this lighting is. I don't know if it's going to show up on the internet, but if, like up in here in this corner, it's just uneven, like they slipped or something. And I don't care what they have to do, but they need to fix these guns. For the price I paid for both of them, I could have bought a beautiful Les Baer or a Wilson. I could have got a presentation grade gun for the price of these two guns. So I feel that Ed Brown needs to make it right, because I'm a first-time Ed Brown customer. I had a lot of faith in Ed Brown. I thought they were going to be some of the best when it came to quality. Well, I know accuracy, the Les Baer are known for being the best, but I just wanted a gun that's going to look beautiful. And the Les Baers, they look nice and everything, but I wanted something that looked a lot nicer, I guess. So that's why I went with Ed Brown. I could have went with Nighthawk, but I didn't want to have to order one. And Cabela's didn't have a full-size Nighthawk in stock. Otherwise, I probably would have went with the Nighthawk. I wanted a Wilson. I would have definitely chose a Wilson, but again, Cabela's only had it could have been an aluminum frame Wilson, which I wouldn't want. I would want a full-size Wilson. And I don't know, I just decided to go with a full-size Ed Brown, and then I was choosing between the Wilson and the executive carry, and I went with the executive carry. Now I'm starting to think I should have went with the Wilson, but if it was an aluminum frame Wilson, I'm better off with the executive carry. It's just, I don't know. I'm pretty upset right now because I spent so much money on these guns, and they both have some problems that are just really annoying. And I just hope that Ed Brown will take care of these guns. I hope I'm not waiting too long. And I have another Les Baer that I ordered back in July that should be done any day now. It's I can't remember what size it is. Maybe it's an officer size. It's the same size as this one. It's all stainless. It doesn't have a bobtail grip, but that should be done in a few days, and I'm sure that's going to be perfect, because so far, in my experience, Les Baers are perfect almost all the time. Now, nobody's really perfect. I'm sure Les Baer makes a gun that has its problems, but I know Les Baer has great customer service, and I hope that Ed Brown will be the same way. I'm just kind of pissed off that I have to send both of these guns back because to me they're not perfect. And this gun is perfect, and it's only $1,700. And these two, which are a lot of money, they're not. So I don't know, it's just not right, and I think they need to fix it for me. But oh well. I still really like these guns. As long as they fix the problems, I won't have any complaints. And they might not be able to fix all the problems, but they should be able to, and I expect them to. So I'll let you guys know what's going to happen with these guns. I'll let you know how they treat me. I'll probably record the conversation when I call them up Monday to tell them what's going on. I already sent them an email explaining the problem, and they just sent me a phone number to tell me to call this number. So I'll call that number Monday, and I'll let you guys know what's happening. So stay tuned.